Hi, Amador County, Sue Slivick here on location at the Interfaith Food Bank. Today is November 9th, 2015, and we're going to let you know what's going on inside as well as find out what the needs are here this holiday season. With me is Tom Thompson. Good to see you.
Good morning, Susie. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Let's just talk real quick, those people that maybe don't know you and know a bit of your past and your loves of Amador County, but let's tell the viewers how long you've been here at the food bank.
I've been here a little over 3 years now. I retired from Raley's in 2012 after 40 years. The last 15 years here in Jackson in Amador County.
Okay, and I know you through many organizations in the community, Rotary for a long time, Shriners.
Chamber of Commerce, Hospital Board, all kinds of good stuff going on.
A real man about town and really gives back to the community, and now retired, but here, and your role here is?
I'm the executive director.
Okay. Now we're going to share with you how the food bank works for people that may be new viewers or those that don't know. Let's give them in a nutshell how the food bank works.
Well, basically we serve Amador County residents only. We ask for proof of residency, and basically they self-certify on their income requirements. We're a totally volunteer-driven organization. There's myself and a few staff members here. We have a thrift store over in Sutter Hill called Great Finds Thrift Store, where we have a few staff members there. Over 300 volunteers work throughout the year, and plus our 15 remote distribution sites throughout the county.
Okay. And when we go into the warehouse, you'll tell me more about where the food comes from and that sort of thing, and the seasonal changes. We're right here in the entry, and this is where people come.
Clients come through the door. They're greeted by one of our volunteer receptionists. They receive a menu, and the menu basically is all of our staple items. A lot of the items that we glean from the supermarkets throughout the county. A lot of the items that we purchase. We purchase a lot of food. And then there's some items that are one of a kind, or a half a dozen, or two dozen of things that we put on our board of choice up here.
And I will talk to Hazel about the board as well as this process here. Tommy's been showing the application, and this is what people tell me how the time works. Somebody comes in the door.
We call this a menu, and everyone who comes in the door and has been qualified gets one of these, and they mark the items that they would like to have. There are dry goods and things that we have in the cooler, milk and juice. And
so they, if I can turn it towards the camera, so they fill out what their need is.
What their need is, yes. And we don't always have everything that they need, but we do the best we can to find out.
Okay. And then on that board there are items that particularly today you have in stock.
Yes, and sometimes they're donated, and you can see some diapers, things that are not normally we would have to give away. And Joan, when they come in, she mentions to look at the board, and they also then mark down at the bottom what else they would like to have. Okay. And we do all our best to fulfill their orders.
And they pick up the food actually in this room?
We fill the order in the warehouse, and we all take the carts out. We have what we call runners. We take the carts out directly to their car. Okay. And load it into the car.
So if you don't mind, share with us how long you've been part of the food bank and helping out, because I know you help out in a lot of ways here in the community.
Well, I've been here since 2012, so a little over 3 years, and love it. I have the early morning shift, so another coworker and I do the cooler, and then we take the goods that come in from the grocery stores and other places and get it organized in the cooler.
What made you decide to help here at the food bank, to volunteer?
Well, I think I'm a professional volunteer. I like to do a lot of different things, but this one always touched my heart. I mean, I walk dogs, I do other things, but this is where the need is. And we were just talking back there that this county is so amazing with the feeling of giving and caring, and it's just fun anyway. It's just delightful. And I will tell you that it's not infrequent that we have, when we take the groceries out, that people say, I don't know what we would do, what our family would do without you. And that once a week is enough for me to last several months.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're here about once a week?
I come once, sometimes twice a week.
Okay.
Come Monday morning when we get the weekend delivery from the grocery stores.
All right, great. And how long have you been helping out here at the food bank?
I would say about 3 years now.
And it's a nice experience for you.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. my husband passed away recently, and so my daughter, who was the office manager, volunteered me. And I laugh, and I see how lucky I am when you see all these people who need all this food, and I'm so glad to be here because you meet all kinds of nice people and some very unusual ones, but it's a fun job. It's a fun job.
Thank you for all the community for being here, both of you. And Tom, let's head out to the warehouse and see what you've got
Okay.
sort of in store for us.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
We're here in the warehouse, and hi, Patty. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Sue.
You're the manager here. How long have
the
you been
warehouse-
the warehouse manager?
I'm the warehouse manager, and I've worked about 4.5 years.
Okay, good. And Tom, tell me the process in here.
Well, basically, as we showed you out in the waiting room, the clients have an opportunity to fill out the shopping list. The shopping list is brought back here by a volunteer and then given to a group of volunteers in the back here that basically start shopping for that client. They'll go into the cooler and glean, pick out all the fresh fruits and vegetables that we have available, maybe some dairy items, bread, and things like that. They'll start in there, and then they'll work their way out to here to the dry goods. Now you'll see that we received some soap and cleansers and cleaners and shampoos through donations. So these are extras that we don't always have, that we send out with the clients that will need it. The 1 and 2 things that we get, those are the things on the board. Those are added to their shopping bags. We have fresh meats and frozen items here that have been donated. We have some of the meat there that says food bank on it there from Swingles was part of our fair donations from the county fair. Most of all the stuff you see back here is purchased items. There are some donated items. So that big pallet of cereal up there was donated from General Mills. But Patty keeps things organized back here, and she pretty much keeps everything all under control.
So, Patty, you manage the shifts and the people,
Right.
the volunteers here.
Right. We have about 55 to 70 volunteers every single week here that come and shop for our clients and make sure that the shelves are stocked and the warehouse is clean. And we have a route of local stores that we pick up from every morning that donate items that are available for us. So we do that every single morning, 7 days a week.
What time does that head out in the morning?
They leave here about 8:15 and hopefully get back here before 10.
And then they come in and they unload and get everything organized. And in the meantime, by 10 o'clock, people are starting to arrive,
Right.
and the shopping begins.
Right.
And what is the shift? What time does this end when people no longer can come in the door?
We're open to the public from 10 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon.
Okay. And how many people are here in a shift? Because you have 5 days a week, is that correct?
We have 7 days a week, as a matter of fact. We have 7 days a week. We have at least 2 drivers who go around to the various stores and pick up the food, unload it, and put it in our cooler and on our shelves. But 5 days a week, as we're open for the public, there's usually 10 or 12 back here in the warehouse. And I think you've got, 3 or 4 at least up in the front office, taking care of the intake office, and
Okay. Are you still looking for volunteers?
always.
Always. And what would a typical volunteer need to, minimum or maximum time they put in, and what are the requirements?
Well, back here in the warehouse, you have to be able to lift at least 20 pounds so that you can move the boxes around. And there is no minimum hours that we can have anybody volunteer. We're more than happy to work with their schedules, whatever hours they're willing to give us. Okay. And for some positions, of course, they're driving in our larger trucks. We like to make sure that they've got some experience with that. And those jobs as drivers take a little more lifting, a little more than 20 pounds.
Okay. Okay. Tom, as you look around here, I know you came and it's been here a while. How many years has it been in the warehouse? Because I remember years ago, the only thing we were doing that I remember was the thing that we did with Christmas committee.
Well, that was one of the funny things that back in 1996 there was a group of churches and service organizations that got together. Everybody was doing their own little thing. They were doing a little food closet here, a little food closet there, and they got together. The Interfaith Council of Amador got together in 1996 and put the organization together with the intent of basically trying to end hunger in Amador County and have a central location for food distribution. Christmas committee you were talking about, which we worked on several years ago, was basically, a similar thing. They were doing a food distribution during the holidays, but the food bank itself was opened in 1998. And that was basically 2 years after the council was formed. And they've been, this past April celebrated 17 years.
Wow.
And since we started keeping records, basically was in 2000, we've done over 13 million pounds out of this warehouse.
Wow.
Yeah, and we did 1.4 million last year. So,
as the economy has changed since '08, maybe, or it is in the last several years, it's been pretty rough on a lot of people. You've seen an insurgence. You've seen more and more people coming here.
Well, we have. When the economy, took its dive, and I came on board at the end of 2012, in October of 2012, we were serving almost 18% of the county. It was kind of a staggering statistic to see. In 2013, the numbers had dipped slightly, to just about 17.5% of the county. 2014 saw another slight dip to about 17% of the county. Right now, year to date, we're hitting at a little over 16%. That being said, the population of Amador County has dropped from 38,000 to 36,000. I think it's 36.5 was the last survey that they took in 13. But that being said, unemployment rate has declined as well. But there's still a serious problem in Amador County. 16%, is a lot, and there is still.